Okay, today I want to talk to you about some block code. I've done this in Jack's game, so this is actually credit to Jack. This is his idea, so this is absolutely nothing to do with me. This is all Jack's work, so um, thank you to him for his creativity. Yay! Okay, so when Jack asked for random movement on his villains in this game, so this is Mega Man, so this is his main player, and these are NPCs, non-player characters. He asked for random movement, so we started to pick. We set a variable called direction, which is yep. So pick direction, and then pick a random between 1 to 180 because that's sort of when you pick direction. Um, you can do this sort of stuff. So that's what we started to play with. I'm going to show you a few things that I did wrong there when I was helping Jack. So when we press play, we can see that we get one of the villains going out to the side. When I touch the edge, it hangs out there and does nothing. Jack wanted a bounce to happen, so if touching edge, blah, blah, blah. So we're going to press stop. I'm going to change direction to 360 because I don't know how many degrees there are in a circle. But if we do that, we'll see what happens. It gets a little bit more freaky. Now the reason why that's happening is because I've actually got duplicate commands in here. So I've got a forever command here and a forever command here, and so it's absolutely confused about what it's trying to do because it's got two forever commands in operation. So that wasn't very helpful for Jack, and I needed to do a bit of thinking outside of the class. And so I've done that thinking, and what I've actually come up with is something a bit different. What I did was I decided to build what's called a block. So what that means is, oh, we don't need that with the code there. What that means is that I can go down to blocks, build a block, and then what that means is that that command then sits or wherever I put it. But it's a repeat command, so I don't have to think about it anymore. So what I did here is set my direction between 1 and 360. Here I've added in a lost life, but let's not worry about that for the moment. But down here, you can see here, I've just put the block in here, which means all that code is now sitting in this forever loop here, and I don't then have the duplicate of the forever loops happening. So now you can see what happens here when I do that. You've got the villains going different directions, which is what I'm hoping Jack was after. Jack will have to check in class today. But you can see how now they're moving around the maze in a completely random way. And when they hit an edge, so this guy over here is about to hit an edge, he then changes direction. All right. So by having a block command, I can then start putting it in all sorts of different locations and there's absolutely not a problem. I think I've actually tidied it up even further. So here you can see in this particular villain here, so that's that code there. You can see there's still a lot of code sitting in here. In this one here, you can see when clicked, go there, wait 5 seconds, and forever do random movement. Because here in the random movement, I've got the next costume change, I've got the pointing in direction, moving, all that sort of stuff. Why this is important is because it means it can tighten up your code. So blocks are really good for movement. They're really good for direction setting, vector setting, speed setting, gravity setting, all that sort of thing, because then you can just start moving it into particular places. All right, this is why this is kind of useful. So what I've done is solve Jack's glitch, which we were having in class, and I couldn't work out how to solve it in class, by creating this block, set command here, and then bang, it's just here and here. So if you compare that code to this code where I've got all of this stuff all over the place, it's a much cleaner code. The cleaner your code is, i.e. the less complicated it is, the easier it is to adjust when things go wrong. And that's really important when you hit bugs, and it's really important when you get a high degree of complexity. So the more complex your coding, the more important it is that it's actually quite refined. And this is why blocks are quite useful. So that's another way of doing it. And of course, variables I've done in a different video, so I'm not going to talk about them again. Except I will highlight here, I had directions set for all of them, and what that meant was all of them are going in the same direction. So you'll see here that this one has got direction 1, this one's got direction 3, This one's got direction 2, and that one's got direction 1. So what I've done, and you can see here, this is direction 1 in the code. This one is direction 2. So I've created variables, sometimes for just one and sometimes for all. So direction 2 relates to just this sprite. It doesn't relate to any other sprite. It only works for this sprite. Whereas direction 1 and 2 relate to all of them. That's bad coding on my behalf. But what I did was then went, oh yeah, that's right, I need it specific for that one. So if I was going to recode this, I'd put this stuff under the block, put that back in there, and away we go. So I need to do a bit of tidying up, but that's basically how blocks work, and that's how we get the random movement to happen. All right, the one waiting in there is because I've got a 5-second command in there. I've got a 5-second delay. That's just, I was playing with something. All right, so I hope that's useful.